If you can hear me fine, then that's fine, and I'll just kick us off and get started. If that's all right. Does that sound good, Sarah?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good. Yep.
Okay, cool. Then welcome and thank you everybody again for joining our Global Student Entrepreneurship Awards competition for EO Boston, a unique competition. Obviously this one is virtual. In prior years, it's been in person. I would say that this competition is unique versus other pitch competitions as well, because we are evaluating for not just the students and their businesses, but for whether they evaluating their qualities as an entrepreneur against our core values in EO. And so that's something I'll be talking about with the judges. And today's winners will receive cash prizes to help fund their businesses. And today's winners will move on to multiple levels of competition, with the grand prize winner at the international level can win up to like $25,000 or more in cash plus other non-cash prizes. So it's pretty exciting. This is also part of the larger impact of EO Boston within our local community. So as part of this competition, we had to reach out to universities across New England. So thank you again, Dave, for connecting us to Holt, Michael Fabiano for Roger Williams University, Lisa connected us to MIT. I personally reached out to Harvard and Yale and Boston University. So thank you to all the schools that helped promote the competition. Yeah, we've got an exciting lineup of entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs coming up. So they will introduce themselves during when we go into pitch mode. But I would like to introduce our judges. So in a moment, I'll call out your names, and judges, if you can just give us like 1 minute or less, just a little bit about yourself, what you're looking forward today in our competition. I'll start off with, I think, our president, Luis.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm very excited to be here and to have the opportunity of working with you guys. So I'm Luis Cortez, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started my first company with 29 years, so I was slightly older than you are. So I'm happy that we're lowering the average age at which people start up their companies, of course. And probably my lesson is that, after a few flops and a couple of companies that went so and so and one big bang, is that it's so exciting to be an entrepreneur. So I just love to see you kind of getting on this path and starting up. I have a role. I'm an executive at a software company. I am a serial entrepreneur, as I was saying. I'm a business angel and advisor to startup and scale up companies. So I love working with people like you. And I'm very excited to be here and looking forward to hear your ideas and your projects. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Luis. How about Kate? And then I'll ask Igor to go next. Kate?
Excellent. So I am an entrepreneur. I've had my company for about 10 years now. I love entrepreneurship so much. I actually cater my consulting firm to support the talent acquisition strategies for startups. And last year, I actually won an award for being the most helpful advisor to startups through one of the local VCs. So I'm always super excited to hear about new ideas. So
that's pretty awesome, Kate. I actually didn't know that about you.
I didn't either.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Thanks for sharing.
Cool. Thank you.
How about Igor, and then Lisa will go next. So Igor.
Yeah, hi. Excited to be here. I'm Igor Sureda. I'm CEO founder of LM Works. It's a software company, and I'm a software engineer by profession. So I started working on my own things probably right after I graduated. So it's been like 18 to 20 years. And I'm in professional software tools, but I've been involved in financial technology as well. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to see what you guys came up with.
Okay, great. Thank you, Igor. And then how about Lisa?
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I love to support entrepreneurship. I actually had a very non-traditional upbringing in California and Maine, and my parents were entrepreneurs. And my kids pulled out my yearbook a couple years ago, and you know how in your senior year they say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Mine says, "I want to be an entrepreneur." So I actually achieved my dream. About 23 years ago, I co-founded Simply Direct with my husband. He retired last January, which was a big transition for our business. We are a direct marketing company specializing in survey-based lead generation and custom building lists, primarily for IT companies that sell IT solution, enterprise level solutions of about $100,000 or more. And I have two kids. One is 23 and actually she's going to be 23 this Friday, and a son that'll be 24 in April. So I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Lisa. And Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's our judges panel. Yeah?
That is our judges. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Cool. Thank you all for volunteering your time. I also want to take this opportunity to give thanks to our sponsors. Thank you to Cambridge Savings Bank. So shout out to Brad Fitz, Lexington Wealth Management, Christine, Michael, and Jordy at LWM, and Cruz Consulting Group, Eric Cruz, fellow EO member, as well as Andrew Krebs-Smith, EO member who coached and met with our student entrepreneurs today. So thank you to all of our sponsors for making events, both in person and virtual events like these, possible.
What's up, everyone? My name is Zach Will, and I'm the founder and CEO of Kona Brand, an apparel company that makes fun winter flannels by combining the feel of traditional flannels with the flair of Hawaiian shirts. Now, I founded Kona Brand back in my junior year of high school, and before I get into that, I feel like I should introduce myself a bit better. I'm a sophomore at UConn, I'm 20 years old, and I'm a business management major with a concentration in entrepreneurship. And I like to think of myself as a pretty adventurous person. I'm actually climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in May, COVID permitting. And I also love dogs. More specifically, I love my rescue dogs, Cisco, Kona, and Ollie. And I also think of myself as an entrepreneur with an entrepreneurial mindset. So I'd like to dig a bit deeper into what that means. And it actually all started with my dad. And when I was a month old, he was laid off from his corporate job. So he was kind of thrust into this entrepreneurial position. And I've had the opportunity to grow up in an entrepreneurial household because of it. And growing up, I was fortunate enough to be mentored by a bunch of different amazing people who helped further me as a person and an entrepreneur overall. Most recently, I've been mentored by these wonderful people here in furthering Kona Brand as a company and legitimizing it, and also just furthering my entrepreneurial education professionally and myself as a person. And as for my entrepreneurial involvement, during my early years, I conducted my own entrepreneurial projects. And when I was in high school, I was actually part of a business club called DECA. And every competition we went to, I competed in the entrepreneurship category. Then when I came to UConn, I found a bunch of different entrepreneurial programs that I threw myself into. The first one was actually called Get Seated. It's kind of a Shark Tank-esque competition. Then after that, I competed and was one of the winners of UConn's GSEA Summer Fellowship. And being a winner meant that I had unlimited access to UConn's mentors and their legal team to help legitimize Kona Brand and help get it ready for a launch. Most recently, actually, I've been inducted into the Worth Innovators, which is this group of like-minded business students who come together and just work together to think of entrepreneurial ventures and just further.
¿Habéis comido vosotros?
Sorry?
Hey, Luis, can you go on mute? Sorry, Zach.
It's okay. And we're actually, this spring break, we're actually taking a trip to Silicon Valley to visit some UConn alums and check out their entrepreneurial ventures. Now, I hope that paints a pretty good picture about myself as a person and an entrepreneur. Now I'd like to dive into Kona Brand and what it means to me and where it all came from. So a couple years ago, my dad and I took a drive out to the beach to watch one of those beautiful New England September sunsets. And while we were walking on the beach, I was wearing my flannel and my dad was wearing his favorite Hawaiian shirt. And I noticed that he seemed pretty chilly. and he was telling me how he didn't want to let go of summer and he didn't want to pack up his favorite shirt for winter. And that's when it clicked. Why can't we combine the two? And that's where Kona Brand comes in. Changing the flannel industry forever, I'm introducing Kona Brand flannels. Changing the outlook and the way flannels are for the first time in over 150 years, Kona Brand's signature flannel shirt is meant to help you stand out in a sea of dull. Now, who do you think would want to wear a Kona Brand flannel? It's someone who wants to wear an adventure on their back. But more specifically, initially we're targeting men in the Gen Z to millennial age range in the northeastern United States, specifically New England. Now, whether you're skiing down the slopes or welding in the workshop, Kona Brand flannels are meant to protect, give you comfort, give you warmth, and give you some damn good style. Now, some of the brands that we align ourselves with and consider competitors would be Tommy Bahama and Burton, in the sense that we share the same ideology in appreciating the outdoors and the little things in life. The same goes for Bad Birdie and Chubby's, whose lifestyles just exude fun times to remember. Now, while wholesalers like Target may offer a more affordable option, their clothes and flannels don't give you this sense of connection that you would get from a lifestyle brand. And from a financial standpoint and growth potential, so far we've raised $19,000 in grant funding, along with $1,330 in revenue over the past month and a half, just from selling hats like this and this. And we actually plan on launching our flannel line in the first quarter of 2021. If you take a look at our cash flow chart here, you can see that by the third quarter of 2021, we'll finally break through the red for the last time and have a steadily increasing profit margin. Now, I want to emphasize that we're more than just flannels and we're more than just having an increasing profit margin. I want to introduce you to Kona. He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback from the streets of Puerto Rico, and for the first 3 months of his life, he lived off of food scraps. Thankfully, to Alcedo Rescue, he was flown to the US and met his forever family. He's my good boy, he's my buddy, and he's also our mascot and serves as a reminder to us to appreciate the little things in life, and also of our motto, walk slow, smile more. Now, while Kona was lucky enough to find a family of his own, unfortunately, too many other dogs just don't have that fortunality. And unfortunately, only 1 out of every 10 dogs born will find a permanent home. And every year, 1.2 million dogs are euthanized because shelters are just too full and there aren't enough adoptive homes. So that's why, on top of everything that the Kona Brand shirts have to offer, for every shirt bought, we're donating 10% of the profits to the Pet Fund, a dog charity dedicated to finding a home for every dog. So, thank you. A shirt bought means a home found for a good boy or girl. And when we were developing this goal, this mission of ours, we wanted to make sure that had a lasting impact on the world. And I know we're not curing cancer, we're not finding the cure to world hunger, but we're finding homes for every dog. And to us, that's just as important. So that's how we align ourselves with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. If Kona Brand were to win the GSEA competition, I'd just like to quickly run through what we would do with the funds. Right now, we're working with our manufacturer to create our first round of flannel shirts. And right now, our MOQ of minimum order quantity of shirts is 450. That means for each of these colorways you see here, we need to get 150 of each. And our manufacturer quoted us at, each shirt costing about $40 each on the high end. And that means the total cost of goods would be $16,600. So if we were to win the GSEA competition, all that money would go directly into that expense account and paying for our first round of shirts to get them out there. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And now I'd be happy to answer any of your questions and listen to your comments.
Great. Thank you very much, Zach. If I can ask the judges, feel free to turn your camera back on. I'll help facilitate this. We have about 5 minutes left for questions. For my judges, do you want to raise your hand either on screen or using the raise your hand function? And I'll call on you and we'll do questions. So questions from the judges. Yeah, Lisa.
What is your distribution channel? How are you getting this out and how are you marketing it to your target audience?
So we are solely online. We're not in the retail district. We have a website called theconabrand.com where we're actually selling the hats that I mentioned earlier. And we're going to be marketing on mainly a social media platform. We have a social media presence on Facebook and Instagram at the Kona Brand. And in due time, we're going to launch an advertisement campaign.
Okay. Exactly. We have 4.5 minutes for questions. How about Igor and then Kate? Igor?
Zach, thanks for the presentation. I want to ask, how do you manage your time between the entrepreneurship and school?
Yeah, so right now I am a student first, entrepreneur second, and our goal for Kona Brand is by the time I graduate to get it self-sustaining enough that I can make it my full-time job. Right now, I'm just very concentrated on school, and with finals coming up, that has a majority of my attention, but Kona Brand is still a very big passion of mine, and I try to get involved with it as much as I can.
Cool. Thank you, Zach. Igor, Kate?
Yes, real quick, is there any apparel brand entrepreneur that you specifically follow?
Yes. Here, let me go back. Here, if you look in the bottom right, you'll see myself and Johnny Cupcakes. I believe he presented at EO Boston a while back. He is one of my apparel branding mentors. His company is more of a lifestyle brand, like Life is Good, and they sell fun apparel. He is the main person that I model myself after, along with Life is Good, to try and exude this ideology of appreciating life while also providing apparel that just is kind of a token, is a symbol of this appreciation.
Cool. Thanks, Zach. We still have 3 minutes for questions. Luis, do you have a question?
Yep, good question. So besides money, what do you think is the #1 challenge you face here to really turn this into the dream company that you are defining?
COVID. Right now, I know COVID is most likely isn't a long-term problem, but right now COVID is the main problem that we're facing. The pandemic actually set us behind in our manufacturing by 5 or 6 months. We were originally planning to launch in August or September, but our manufacturer had to shut down for a few months due to the pandemic. So that's really set us behind the most.
Okay. We still have 90 seconds for questions. Kate?
Real quick, have you had any outside internships?
Other than the summer fellowship, which was a summer-long program where they mentored us and helped myself along with 9 other entrepreneurs set up our companies for launch. That is the extent of my internship. All my focus has been on Kona Brand.
Cool. Lisa?
Where else in your life have you exhibited leadership skills?
I am actually an Eagle Scout of Troop 101 Marshfield, and in doing so, I needed to display my leadership to run our troop as a 17-year-old leading a bunch of 16 and below, 11, 12 to 16-year-olds. So you know how hectic that can be. And we didn't really have much adult help with it being Boy Scouts and them trying to get us to act on our own. So that was a huge part of myself developing my leadership skills.
Okay, one more question from Luis.
Yep. So how would you market Kona in 30 seconds to someone that couldn't care less about dogs? And yeah, there's people like that in the world.
Well, should I give you that pitch right now as if you're that person?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Luis, what do you care about in life? Tell me really quick.
My family.
All right. Imagine your family walking on the beach. You're all wearing your favorite Kona brand flannel. And then a few years pass by. You open your closet. You finally see that flannel again. And you immediately transport it back to that amazing memory of walking on the beach with all your family members there watching the sunset. When you put that flannel on, you're transported back to that moment. And you're able to create more moments like that. And that is what wearing a Kona brand flannel means. Appreciating little things in life.
Okay.
On
Thank
that
you.
note, that's all the time we've got. Thank you very much, Zach. Excellent job on your presentation. Very impressed with your virtual presentation skills. I'm sure in person are really good too, but right now virtual, really great. Really enjoyed this. Great questions across the board for our judges. Thank you, judges. Zach, thank you. Sarah, if we can place Zach in our competitor waiting room, and judges will take 10 minutes. 10 minutes, so it's 12:40.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach. So judges, you have 10 minutes, and everybody else, is it all good? Okay, Sarah, we good?
We're good.
Okay, then let us welcome Edith. Edith, thank you for joining us. I'm going to put 15 minutes. Oh, hey, hi, Zach. So now that Zach's presented, he's allowed to watch everybody else. So thanks, Zach. Go ahead and go off camera, Zach. And so Edith, you will have 15 minutes starting now.
Perfect. First of all, hello, everyone. My name is Edith Njage, currently speaking to you from Kenya. And honestly, it is such an honor to have you all here and listening to me. I think for all of that, I'm extremely, extremely humbled and honored. So I'm a very simple person. I have a heart for young people and for the African continent. I hold 2 master's degrees and 2 bachelor degrees as well. I currently am a social and serial entrepreneur at the same time. I'm director of Job Creation Limited. So that means that I so far have created about 11,000 jobs in 12 African countries through that first company. I founded Job Creation, or started working on it when I was 18 years old. I am also the CEO and co-founder of Ariel for Africa Limited, and that's what I'll be talking about today. CFO of My Creative Brain. I sit on the board of advisors of Fundis, which currently provides jobs for blue-collar people in Kenya to the number of 2,000 young people. I am a country representative for Invicta Ventures, which does social impact funding in developing markets. And to date, I have mentored over 3,000 Africans. And for me, I'm just getting started. Ariel for Africa Limited. Ariel for Africa is basically a social enterprise that I founded with my co-founder, Ferouz Samere, when we started Halt International Business School. That actually is 2 years today. So today is our 2nd birthday, and we're so thankful for that. Our aim is to create over 100,000 jobs in Africa, and we do this through successful entrepreneurship. We're based in Kenya, but we have operations in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and Uganda. I like to look at Ariel for Africa as one body, but with 4 wings. So this has happened because we have evolved over time. Originally, we focused purely on entrepreneurship in the continent, but we have also evolved to working with corporate leaders, financial literacy awareness programs and initiatives, and also incorporating Ariel for funding. But I'll get into all of that as I go on. So first of all, entrepreneurship. So what do we do for entrepreneurs in Africa? Well, we started by speaking to 10,000 of them. And that is what led to the offering that we have today. So we have a tailor-made curriculum where it is based on their pain points. So your pain points would not be my pain points. Thus, we cannot have the same journey under Ariel for Africa. We provide leadership workshops, diagnostic assessments, and one-on-one coaching. Each entrepreneur gets to job shadow a successful entrepreneur already in the market. And we also offer sustainability support for 5 years. What does this mean? It's one thing to start a business. It's a completely different ballgame to stay in the market. And so throughout this 5 years, the entrepreneurs have a wide array of support from Ariel, whilst also being part of Diaries of an African Entrepreneur. So Diaries of an African Entrepreneur is basically a support group that they get into once they've completed the Ariel for Africa offerings. In this support group, they basically talk about the challenges that they go through. They partner up. They get any form of support as individuals, but then also as business owners from our wide team. We also offer legal support and partnerships for them during the program and even after, when they start their 5-year sustainability journey. So how did we start? Well, last year in September, we ran our first pilot. In this pilot, we worked with 30 entrepreneurs, and to date, those 30 entrepreneurs have employed over 100 people in total. They went through a crash course of our program, and 3 of them were directly funded by us. So what's different? What's special about our programs? Well, we have a tailor-made approach. We are industry specific where necessary. So we have 8 industry specific curriculums. We have a hands-on approach. So the mentors are very much in the entrepreneurs' faces and space. There's a team focus where we encourage the entrepreneurs to have a team approach in what they do. And like I said, there's the 5-year post-program relationship. And then there's an open door policy where they can always access the mentors, the coaches, and overall they become part of the Ariel family. So when COVID hit, right, for us, honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. Why? Previously, we were going to have our in-person offering only here in Kenya. But as a result of COVID, that is how we've been able to expand to 5 African markets in a very strong way. So we had our 6-week program as well as our 8-week program, where we had graduations in May and in September. So here is some feedback from the online programs. And what I did here was I put one person who was from a startup stage, and she said it has been really good for her in the ideation stage, and also someone who has been in business for 10 years as an SME. And she said that it has been amazing and the mentors have been a great asset. Another thing that we did in July and August is that we started having strategic partnerships. So what does this mean? We began working with other companies in other African countries that do what we do. And we supported African Impact Initiative on a $100,000 project where we basically collaborated so that the entrepreneurs or the teams that they were working with were able to access our curriculum and become part of our sustainability pool to date. So here are more testimonies from our entrepreneurs. And for us, the main thing is that we are helpful, we are industry aware, but more than anything, we have a great focus on the young people. Next thing is corporate leadership. So we introduced this when we realized that we have one focus, creating jobs through entrepreneurship. So we evolved and we said, okay, but then what about young people who want to work for someone else? They can still be entrepreneurial, but work under a company, under a franchise, or under an already existing business. So we have an MD program, CFO, CBDO, CMO, and COO program. Why? Because we believe that millennials should be taking top positions, especially in SMEs in Africa. And we're happy to say that we're graduating our first cohort of 30 young people. These 30 young people have gone through this program successfully, been connected to investment, and will be setting up franchises come January 2021. Finally, we have the Ariel for Financial Literacy. So this one came up when we would spend time with our entrepreneurs and they'd say, I mean, the company profits are my salary, or I'm just going to spend like what I want to spend. Like the business account is my personal account. And we said, no. And so as a result of that, we will basically be working to ensure that people are able to access hands-on approach. We've also partnered up with Track Invest so that trading becomes another route that we create jobs. So in line with that, we are launching a global trading certification so that young people can trade in stock markets all over the world, and actually begin to make that a career, because currently in Kenya, that's not really an option. And finally, there's Ariel for Funding Africa. So here what we do is we fund businesses that have been born through the Ariel journey. And this can be through crowdfunding, partners that we have, VCs that we work with, angel investors that we work with, microloans, social impact investment, as well as grant funding. So here are some key statistics for you. We have over 20 strategic partnerships to date. We have a pool of 25 mentors. Total projects and revenues that we've worked on so far account for over $100,000. We have globally certified 10 courses. We have secured funding for 25 entrepreneurs this year. We have worked with over 300 entrepreneurs this year. We have a reach of over 200,000 entrepreneurs due to our strategic partners. Average cost of our program is between $0, where sometimes it's free, and other times it's until $150. So we're very price conscious. And we are bootstrapped to date. So we're 100% founder owned.
5-minute warning, Edith. 5-minute warning. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Key milestones, what we want to do: expand to Rwanda and Zimbabwe, launch our platform, a funding pool for our entrepreneurs, and collaborations to reach 500,000 young people. This is the team to date. These are our partners, very exciting. And yeah, I think I'm done. My ask is simple. I want to save on my time. I'm sorry, I'm a talker. Yeah.
It's all good. Thank you. Thank you, Edith. Let's ask our judges to come back on camera. And again, I'll help facilitate. So feel free to raise your hand on camera. Lisa, a question for Edith?
Yeah, Edith, why did you become involved in this? I mean, share a little more about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have a heart for young people. I grew up seeing young people around me not access the same opportunities that I had. And because of that, I really want to equalize opportunities. And so all of the companies that I've founded are always around giving young people jobs, giving young people entrepreneurship, giving them financial literacy, giving them tools that I am privileged to have that they don't have access to.
Great. You have 4 minutes for questions. Kate, and then Igor, and then Luis. Kate?
Who was your co-founders? How many people were?
Ferouz. Yeah, Ferouz Samara, she was in the first slide. She's an Eritrean, and I met her at HELP as well.
Excellent. Igor?
So what's your goal in this competition? Like, what would you do with the funds?
Again, like I said, we're bootstrapped, so it doesn't hurt. It would go into, again, channeling so that we're able to reach more people with what we do. So for what we do, if we can sort of access a larger pool of funding, we'll be able to get to the countries that I'm talking about. So yeah, it would mostly basically help us do what we do in other countries.
And are you currently, oh, sorry.
Okay, so we'll do follow-ups in a second. Let's do Luis. Luis?
Yep. I have a question about what you're trying to build here. So is this like a private company? Sorry. Is this like a private company you want to make money out of, or it is more like a charity to try to promote entrepreneurship in the African continent?
So I wouldn't say we're a charity, we're a social enterprise. So we don't believe you're either or. So you can do good, do well, make profits and be sustainable, but still have an impact. And that's what we've been proving with what we've done so far. And it's why to date, we're not selling off equity, right? It's because, or we have not sold off equity. It's because what we're doing has sustained us. So we believe we can have both pieces of the cake, where we can have impact, but still be privately owned. Yeah.
Great. 2 minutes. So let's go back to Kate and then Igor, you had a follow up. Yeah, Kate.
What has been your biggest mistake that wish hindsight being what it is?
I think I don't think I can point directly to a mistake. I think every day when I wake up, I try to be a better leader because I do lead a large team. The Ariel team has really grown. And so my mistake is just being better each day because as a leader, you fall short every day. So I think that's what I would say.
Thank you, Kate. Igor?
Can you tell us if you're currently profitable and what are the margins?
Yes, we are profitable. Currently, as a result of everything that we've done, I would say that our margins, depending on the month to month, whatever, is between 15 to like 25%.
Thank you.
1 minute left for questions. Other questions? Lisa, did you have a question? Lisa?
Do you see yourself doing this long term? Is this kind of like what your passion is?
Oh yeah, I will live and die by this. I've been an entrepreneur now working with young people for 8 years. And I can't see myself doing anything else ever. Yeah.
And Luis, did you have a question?
So yeah, a question in terms of you seem to be growing very fast to many different countries. How did you combine that with how deep your impact is? So if you know what I mean, are you spreading yourself out too thin? How are you planning that growth?
So the good thing about this is that how we have grown is not the traditional way. We've done it a lot through strategic partnership. So as a result of this, we, as much as we are in touch with, say, Ghana, African Impact Initiative is also in touch with Ghana. So everything that we do, we believe in combined effort. You know, no one gets far doing anything on their own. And that's why for us, when you see our partners, they're over 20, right? Because we have deep roots. And another thing is that our sustainability department has been a true blessing where they have maintained touch on a weekly basis with every entrepreneur we've ever worked with. So no matter what our spread has been like, because of how we've tailored it, the expansion mechanism, we've still maintained that touch.
And with that, that's your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Edith.
much.
Thank
you.
you.
Great job.
Excellent presentation. Thank you, judges, again, for your very insightful questions. We will take 10 minutes. So it's 1:10 right now. Let's come back online. Judges, are you good? Do you need any more time or anything else? All right. Then if our judges are back and our participants are here, then judges feel free to go off camera. Go off camera. And with that, Tyler, you've got 15 minutes.
Okay. So, hey guys, I'm Tyler Bray. I'm 22 years old and a sophomore undergrad at Babson. I'm also an EO member, so good to see all of y'all. I know I haven't met most of y'all, but I would love to. Now, so I'm currently studying entrepreneurship at Babson, but that's not where my entrepreneurial journey started. When I was 14 years old, my stepdad himself, being an entrepreneur, had a conversation with me and practically just convinced me to be an entrepreneur. And I did what was obvious to me at the time and I dropped out of 9th grade and I started my business. And so that's August 2013 and TK Trailer Parts was born. Technically though, Tyler Bray wasn't the owner, Chonwadi Bray was, and that's my mother. So I legally couldn't have a business under my name. So for the next 4 years, I guess you could say I had a little bit of an identity crisis. Half the time I was my mother and the other half I was me. But on a serious note, I couldn't have ever done this without my support with my family, my dad, my stepdad, and my mother. So I have a lot to thank when it comes to my family. So what does the life of a teenage entrepreneur look like? When I started my business, I couldn't drive for the first 3 years. I woke up with my stepfather and went to work with him at 8 a.m. every single day, most nights ending at 2 a.m. with my mother picking me up. To some, that may seem like voluntary torture, but to me, it was really the time of my life. I was growing, I was learning, making mistakes, and most of all was free. But I'd be lying if I said it was a walk in the park. When I was 16, about to turn 17, I experienced my first onset of depression. When they say entrepreneurship is a lonely road, I never knew how true it was until it hit me. I spent 2.5 years buried in my business alone with only me. No social life, no friends my age. And the worst part about it was that I knew I had $1 million business, but I felt even worse because I felt bad about feeling bad. This is when I chose to leave my 3-person team to manage my business. When I started to seek my own identity, I moved 200 miles away back to my hometown to finish high school. After getting my diploma, I came back to find that my business was over $300,000 in debt because of my own incompetence. I'd made mistakes like this before, like spending $5,000 for boxes that I never used or sending the wrong axles to a customer, but never a mistake to the extent like this. But ironically, I was excited. This gave me a reason to put my head back down, like 3 years ago. And for the next 2 years, I strived to make my business stronger, better, more resilient than it had ever been before. My personal philosophy is that everything happens for a reason. One of my strongest values is positivity. Part of positivity is knowing that I can achieve anything I put my mind to. It took me from 2016 to 2018 to get out of debt. Was it tough? Yeah, it was. But no one else knew that I was in debt, not even my parents, because I was determined to take responsibility and learn from my own mistakes. There were times when it was the 11th hour where I didn't know whether or not I was going to make payroll, but luckily I was able to make things work somehow. Whether it took out personal loans, moved account balances, played with my checks, it all managed. I never gave up. I was able to take a 3-person team, 15 people, recognition as the Inc. 5000. And this was 2018. I had made the achievement again in 2019 and 2020. I believe that entrepreneurship really isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's not a career, but a lifestyle. It's not a position, but it's a mentality. I don't know if I chose entrepreneurship or it chose me, but this is the path I've landed on, and I'll continue to choose this path for the rest of my life. That being said, this path doesn't necessarily mean that TK Trailer Parts is what I'm going to be doing for life. I'm the founder of 5 businesses and I've acquired 3 more. Of those 8 businesses, 4 of them have failed. And that being said, let's talk a little bit about my first love, TK Trailer Parts. Today, we're a 30-person team who's on track to do 11 million in top line revenue. And I like to call it a gang of misfits, youngsters, and dare I say millennials, people I call my family. Over 90% of my team are under the age of 35. And one of the statistics I'm most proud of is that in a white male-dominated industry, over 25% of them are female and over 30% are ethnic minority. So a very cliche phrase I often hear is follow your passion, but I believe that's often misinterpreted. Most people interpret it as product, service, or industry. I see this as more abstract. At the beginning, my passion was building a team or business or top line revenue, but since then it's evolved. My purpose is to make sure that I'm able to provide as many opportunities as possible for my team and my customers. My purpose is to build the most successful business in order to provide the most successful lifestyles for everyone involved. That is my passion. That's why no matter what industry I move to or what business I start, I can be very passionate and successful. So let's talk about TK Trailer Parts just real quick. TK Trailer Parts business model is really straightforward. It's not a sexy business. It's a logistic and marketing business that happens to move trailer parts as its product. What started as a line of 10 products has turned into a trailer parts distribution company selling worldwide, selling products from the smallest nut to the for a small lawn mowing trailer to the largest axle on an 18-wheeler trailer, which now boasts over 3,000 SKUs advertising online. We have an inside sales team, which takes inbound sales. And once we get a sale, we fulfill it ourselves or go through a drop shipping process. So on to some of my other businesses. We have TK Trailers. We have Master Plans and Designs. We have Marketography. And this right here is a picture of my team. So we have a little bit more time left. So what I'm going to do is mute myself really quick. And do you see me on my phone now? Can I get a thumbs up, Ryan? Awesome. So I am going to take y'all, since I am actually at my office, give you guys a little look at what we got. So this right here is my little operation. We have some stock outside. It's a little bit messy and a little bit dirty, but we build trailers. There's Ashton right there. We package these products. We have some forklifts. We have a lot of stuff. These are the boxes that we're going to be sending out today. This is the office. These are my sales guys. Tyler, say hi. Hello. Mariah. So this is pretty much what my business does. And we can go ahead, Ryan, and go on to some questions. More than happy to answer them. Gonna go back to my desk real quick.
Okay. Thank you, Tyler. We've got about half the time, so about 7.5 minutes left for questions. If our judges can come back online and raise your hand either virtually or on screen. If you want to ask a question, I'll call you out. And then Tyler, I have a chance to ask. Luis, you want to go first?
So Tyler, can you hear me back?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. So I have a question. You've been able to grow a substantial business, not only in terms of revenue, but also team at a very young age, right? So what's your main learning out of building such a big team in this short period of time?
So it's funny because, you know, the same reason I joined EO is how I build my business. I don't have a social life when it comes to from the age of 14 all the way up to 21. So when people ask me, how do I choose my team? It's how I choose my friends. So people are going to trust my business, my responsibilities, my babies with. So the reason why I think I'm successful is because of the people I put around me. I really take the time to cultivate those relationships, whether it's growing them as a person and aligning those visions. I think that's the responsibility of a leader.
Great. Thank you. How about Igor?
Thanks, Tyler. Great presentation. I want to ask you, how do you define success? What does it mean for you?
Success initially started out, my mother had went through a divorce and I met my stepdad. And success to me at first was being able to create something that I was able to provide for my mother no matter what happened. But now what success means to me is ensuring that every single person on my team is going to be successful, aligning those visions so that their success means my success.
Great. Thanks, Tyler. Kate, and then Lisa. Kate?
So you have an interesting journey that you had been a high school dropout and then you went back to school. That's sort of interesting. It's one that I can relate to. I was a high school dropout and a college dropout. So it's interesting that you're now going to Babson. What inspired that?
So I kind of realized that my body goes through this cycle where if I put my head down and like work, every 3 or 4 years, I need some social experience. And so I actually saw a neuropsychologist and she's saying that I need to find balance and whatnot. So I was trying to seek balance going back to college and going through academics. But the funny thing is I'm looking into taking a leave of absence, really trying to convince myself not to and really focus on school and really get through that and find balance in business and academics. But it's really just to meet people around my age. Entrepreneurship is big in Babson. So I was hoping to meet people my age who was into entrepreneurship, and that's been pretty successful.
Great. Thank you. Lisa?
You didn't talk that much about your profit margin and your long-term growth plans. You did say this wasn't what you wanted to do for the rest of your life. So what's your exit strategy?
So yeah, I didn't touch too much on my business. My business is doing 11 million top line. Bottom line, we're at approximately 13 to 17% net margins. Gross margins are approximately 37%, not including shipping. Including shipping is approximately 29%. And my future goals, I mean, right now we have an oil field contract that's supposed to sign on next Tuesday, and we're diversifying. And that's supposed to be a $10 million contract. On the following Thursday, we have a 3-year contract that's going for $105 million with planes. And so we're doing a lot of different stuff. And the reason why I didn't get too much deep into the numbers is because, you know, I've actually been a judge for GSEA too, which is kind of a very weird dynamic. I don't really like focusing too much on the business aspect, but more the entrepreneurial aspect, because I have 7 businesses and a lot of those have their own net margins and all of that good stuff. But I'm more than happy to answer any of those numbers questions if you want to ask me some more in-depth questions.
Okay. Thank you. We've got about 3 minutes left for questions. Other follow-up questions? Igor?
So how do you manage your time? You have 7 businesses or 8, what was it? And then you study, right? How much time do you have left for sleep?
So I actually really enjoy my sleep. And when I was in college, you know, I was taking hybrid classes, so I was in person at Babson. I have a VP named Caitlin. I have 2 CEO or CSO, Chief Sales Officer, and a COO. And the way that I like to do my management, I guess, of my team is all my information, 90% of the information goes to those three guys. And then once it goes to those three guys, I trust them with the responsibility of understanding how I think, understanding the culture, and then delegating from there exactly how I would like it to. And any decisions that need to be made on me, I like to see proposals. So they'll give me three options. Hey, these are the three options to solve this problem, to tackle the next step. Which one do you like best? I say, okay, I like option 1 and 2. So let's kind of combine that and go that direction. So I'm not really the one making the decisions anymore. I get proposals and I kind of decide which one I feel is best for the decision for the company.
Cool. Thank you. Lisa?
Do you have any competitors?
I do. I was lucky. I was one of the first to do e-commerce, so we have a very large brand presence, but we have one competitor who's larger than us called eTrailer, and then we have about 3 or 4 smaller competitors who are also online. But the way I see competition, especially in this industry, is yes, the trailer parts industry is a little bit behind when it comes to online and tech, but with the new verge of e-commerce coming in every single industry, I expect to see many more competitors. So we definitely have to stay ahead of the ball and make sure that we're at the tip top of the tech.
Thank you. Luis?
So Tyler, if I understood correctly, you said your stepfather actually inspired you to become an entrepreneur.
Correct.
So if that conversation wouldn't have happened, what do you think your life would have been? Which direction would you have gone?
So this is funny. My parents, my mom and my dad are both from Thailand, and they came to America just so that I can have a better education. So they were pushing me to become a doctor, a lawyer, but deep down when I was 12, I wanted to be a firefighter. So probably one of those. I was a really good student actually, so I'd probably go into med school or something like that.
Cool. I think we got time for one more question. Yeah, Kate, last question.
So you're a member of EO. Have you found that EO has brought you the balance that you were looking for?
I can say yes, partially. I have a very good Boston forum, and the neuropsychologist, Anne, I don't know if you know Anne Helmuth, but she actually did a examination on me as well. So I've gotten so much from it, but still there's a side of me, a 22-year-old side of me that's like, hey, I just want to be able to do dumb stuff with dumb young people. And that's the side I don't feel like I'm going to get with EO, which is great because I need that balance. So that's what I get from EO, is that entrepreneurial, young, sometimes old, sometimes fun, most of the time.
Awesome. Thank you. And with that, Tyler, that's all your time. So
awesome.
Great. Thank you very much, Tyler. Thank you again to our judges. Great round of questions. With that, let's take 10 minutes again. So judges, go ahead, go through your scoring sheet, complete your scoring sheet, and make sure to share it with me. If you need my email, I can send you my email again. Let's take 10 minutes, send it to me. I will total up all the scores. And then when we come back at 1:45, judges will ask you to give your closing thoughts, and then we will do our closing ceremony. So with that, thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
I'll see everybody in about 10 minutes. Back on camera as well, and everyone else can stay off camera. All right. Okay, well, so firstly, let me say thank you to all of our student competitors. I was mind blown. I loved every single one. So impressive. I think I speak for everybody when we say just so impressive. I know most people are muted, but if we can give like a round of applause to our student competitors. Thank you all for just taking the time to be part of this competition, spending your time today away from both your businesses and your schools to be part of today. I hope you gained a lot from being a part of this. At the same time, you created a lot of value for us in EO Boston. And I think I speak for everyone to say, like, we're very inspired by your stories and your businesses. And holy cow, wow. Just like the future of entrepreneurship just looks so bright. So thank you all. So let me take this time. We got about 10 minutes for our judges to just give some closing statements, around a closing statement. So if I can start off with, Igor, and then Kate, Lisa, Luis. How about we do it in that order? So about a minute apiece. So Igor, closing statements?
Sure. You know, I could just echo what just Ryan said. Mind blown. It's so impressive. You know, you by this age, you know, have achieved so much that it's really a humbling experience for me, because, you know, I'm remembering what I had done at that time. So, and yeah, I'm sure that you got a bright future. And as Ryan says, like, we're happy to see that there's so many talented entrepreneurs enter the world. So, and what I especially I want to say that I felt strongly about the fact that you guys have a mission. You know, it's not just the business; it's also something that defines yourself, and also impacts people around you, impacts the world. So that's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Igor. Kate?
I'll just go with one word, and that will be inspirational. You guys really, really inspire me. As not sure if you guys were aware, but my daughter, Jax Morgan, is on the line as well. She attended a GSE competition observing as well, and she's entered into entrepreneurship minor at UW. And it's because of you guys, you know, listening to people like yourself, it's something that just takes my breath away. So thank you guys.
Okay, thank you, Kate and Lisa.
So exciting. What a great journey you guys have just started. I was impressed. Each of your ideas was very unique and inspirational, and you've just joined a very exclusive club, being an entrepreneur and owning a business. There's very few people that can do that, and there's very few people that can do that for a sustained period of time. You know, it's a real achievement, and most people just work for companies because that's all they want to do. They don't want to take the risk, and with a lot of risk, there's a lot of reward, and you guys have great, bright futures ahead of you.
Great, thank you, Lisa. And finally, Luis.
Yep. So I have two words. One is humbled. The other one is beyond. Humbled because, you know, when I was thinking, yeah, I started my first business at 29 years old, and hey, this is a guy here that's way shorter than me that has gone way beyond where I was, even way older than that, right? So from that perspective, it's just amazing what, you know, you guys are doing, what you're planning to do with the resources and the genes and the culture that you have. So that's the first thing. And the other one is beyond, not as much in terms of where you want to take your business or where you want to, you know, make money or whatever, but you're going beyond yourselves, right? You're growing teams. You want to contribute to a vision. You want to make people happy. You want to keep creating value in whatever industry you are, right? So you're going beyond a number of things. And, you know, many entrepreneurs are just on the ride, either because they, you know, feel enthralled about it or because they want to make a lot of money. I'm sure you want to make money, of course. I don't think there's any bad thing there, but that's not topping the list. And I just love that you're going beyond all of those things. So again, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Luis. And thank you to all of our judges. Can we get a behind muted like applause for all of our judges? Thank you, judges, for volunteering your time to be part of today's competition as well. And can I get a special shout out and applause for Sarah Cohen, again, organizing a great event for us. I know the era of virtual events. Thank you for managing all of our communication, logistics, this and today's event. And thank you again to all everybody who dialed in right now, who's still on, and those who will watch this afterwards. With that, so our awards, our final award ceremony. So here's how the awards are going to work. We have 3 prizes, actually. So third place will receive a $250 cash prize, $500 for second place. First place gets $1,000, and first place the first place winner gets to go to our national competition. So again, GSEA starts at the local level. We'll have the USA National GSEA, and then the highest level is global. Obviously, the prizes go up at every level. And again, I know you're not in this for the prizes themselves, right? You're in this for the journey. It's about the learning, and whatever prizes, whatever place you get, right? You've already won by even just like taking the first step in all of your businesses, having your businesses, growing your businesses. You know, that's the real prize, right? So this is just to like recognize, I think, you and your time for contributing to be part of this, and again, the value you've created for us. And wherever you go, I think we all know you're all going to go like great places. So thank you for that. With that, so our third place winner is going to be Zach Will. So Zach, all right, a little round of applause for Zach. Congratulations, Zach.
Thank you so much.
Our second place winner is Tyler. So round of applause for Tyler. And first place goes to Edith. So round of applause for Edith. And thank you again to all of our winners. Thank you to everybody for participating in today's GSEA competition. Sarah will get in touch with each of you about how to send over our prizes. And I hope you'll look at us at EO Boston as a resource for you and for the entrepreneurial ecosystem throughout Boston, all of your different schools and universities and business schools in the community. EO Boston, this year, we have a huge initiative around our impact on our community, starting with our student entrepreneurs. So thank you again to everybody. I'm happy to stay on for a few more minutes. I do have a hard stop at 2. But I'm happy to stay on for any questions. And if you want feedback from any of our, from any of us, again, coordinate with Sarah, and she can help facilitate that. Our judges, I know, also took additional notes on each of your businesses. But with that, for all of our guests and everybody, thank you so much for a great GSEA. I'm glad we can do this, and look forward to seeing you at our next. Oh, can we get a screenshot? Yeah, we need a screenshot. Can everybody come back on camera? Come back on camera. I think Sarah, I saw Sarah like looking, pointing her phone at the things like, oh yeah, we need to get a screenshot. This whole thing is being recorded anyway, so we could do it like retroactively. But why don't we get a screenshot all on? So Sarah, you want to take it?
Yeah. Bill, are you available to go on your video? Perfect. All right. Congratulations, everybody. Everybody say EO.
Oh.
Perfect.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Congratulations, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
everyone.
Thank you
Thanks.
for a great event.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
much.
And
This opportunity, guys. Really
Good job.
appreciate it.
Yeah, great job.
thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. So
Great
much.
job.
Bye.
Thank you.
You deserve it. We didn't do anything. It's on you.
Thank you. This is a big like Ariel birthday surprise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Birthday surprise. Wow.
That's great.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Great.
Good to see all of y'all. Craig's in my forum, by the way. So
Yeah, great to see everyone. And Tyler, great to see you as well.
good to see you, buddy. Ryan, thank you so much again, buddy. Good job, man. Great job.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right. We'll see you
Kudos to
later.
you and all the competitors. Thank you, Tyler.
Bill,
Absolutely.
Bill, I have a quick question for you if you're still here.
Yes.
Sorry, Bill.
Oh,
I think
Bill. Okay.
okay. Yeah.
No problem.
Bye.
Take care,
Thank you,
guys.
Tyler.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh yeah, so okay.
Awesome.
You can stop recording.
Oh yeah.